Good morning, students. Welcome you all in Darwin's classes. Myself, Dr.UKY, the PhD Bio at JNP Samastipur, Bihar. And today, I would like to discuss the questions from Science Biology part of class 9, which has been asked in the recently held exam, that is 4th unit test. And the question number in biology, it was from question number 9 to 14. So let us start the question one by one. The question number 9, it was expand AIDS, AIDS. So whether it is expand or write down the full form of, or give the term for which abbreviation is given below. Give the full term or expand, all these are the same thing. But some of the students, they couldn't understand what to do with the term expand, and they had written down something else. That means AIDS is caused by virus, it is fatal or something like. But here you have to write down simply the full form of AIDS. That means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. For 1 marks, you will get 1 marks by writing down the full form of AIDS. The second one, that means the question number 10, that was give example of one protozoan disease. That means the disease caused by protozoa. Give example of protozoan disease. And very common disease caused by protozoa, that is plasmodium. Plasmodium is protozoan, and that leads to the disease caused as malaria. And we have to write down the name of the disease, therefore it will be malaria. You have to write down only one because it was for 1 marks. But another diseases, protozoan diseases, kala-azar. Next one is sleeping sickness and amoebic dysentery. So any one of them can be written down and you will get 1 marks. Either malaria, kala-azar, sleeping sickness or amoebic dysentery. The next question was question number 11, and that was the question, write down 2 chronic diseases. Question was 2 chronic disease. 2 chronic diseases. Give examples of 2 chronic diseases. So chronic diseases means those diseases from which the patient is suffering from a very long time. And the diseases, common diseases like tuberculosis, TB, that is chronic disease. Then chronic disease is elephantiasis. Elephantiasis. Again, cancer. Cancer is chronic disease. Then AIDS. It may be taken as chronic disease, suffering from long time. Then cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular diseases. These are the diseases which are chronic diseases like tuberculosis, elephantiasis, cancer, AIDS, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis. So you have to write down any 2, and by writing any 2 of them, you will get 2 marks. The next question, that is question number 12, and it was write down 2 diseases मच्छर के काटने से होने वाली दो बीमारियों का नाम लिखें। तो इसमें आप कोई भी दो बीमारी लिख सकते थे, एनी टू डिजीज लाइक वेरी कॉमन डिजीज मलेरिया, malaria caused by the bite of mosquito, and they are female anopheles. Female anopheles. Another disease, that is dengue fever. Dengue, and dengue is caused by Aedes mosquito. Then filaria. Filaria or filariasis or elephantiasis. Filaria or elephantiasis, हाथी पाँव, and that is caused by the bite of Culex. Culex mosquito, they are the vector. And another disease, Japanese encephalitis. Japanese encephalitis, again it is called by Culex. So out of the four, any two, only two was to be written, and it was meant for 2 marks. If you are writing down the correct any two diseases, simply diseases was to be written down. I have written down the vectors, the name of vectors, but that was not needed in your question. The next question, that is question number 13, that was, what are 3 ways through which AIDS is being transmitted? That means mode of transmission of AIDS. So simply it is through sexual contact. If any healthy person comes in contact with a person who is HIV positive or who is having AIDS, the second one will be infected, because there must be contact of the body fluid. So during unprotected sex, during promiscuous sex, that means multiple partner, or some of the person they are changing the sex partner in that case, and especially those persons who are drug addicted, they are doing things, and the chances of being infected with HIV, that means suffering from AIDS, is common in those persons who are drug addicted. The second one, through blood transfusion. If the blood is being given to a person in emergency, during surgery, during accident, and if blood is HIV positive, that means if blood is not tested, in that case the person may suffer from AIDS. Third one, by the use of improperly sterilized surgical instruments or razors or blades, or by the use of syringe. If the same syringe or needle is being used for multiple persons, in that case, if a person is suffering from AIDS, the same injection is being injected, the same syringe is being used for another person who is healthy, then it will be transmitted. And this is also very common in the group who are sharing needle in case of drug, sharing of drug. And next one is vertical transmission. That means transmission of the disease from mother to child. It may happen that sometimes the mother is not diagnosed whether she is HIV positive or not, and it may happen that she is HIV positive, then after birth the child will be HIV positive. It may happen either during the childbirth, during parturition, when there will be mixing of blood, or even after childbirth through mother's milk. So these are the important methods, modes of transmission of AIDS, which can be written as First one is through unprotected sex or sexual contact with unknown. That may be HIV positive, and in that case the disease will spread. Transfusion of blood, that means contaminated blood. If the blood which is being given to the patient and that is having virus HIV, then the person will suffer from its sharing of infected needles or even surgical instruments. If they are not properly sterilized, then in that case chances may be there. And vertical transmission, that means from infected mother to child, either during childbirth or during lactation, during feeding the baby. So these are the main pathway through which the viruses enters from an infected person to healthy person. And this was the last question, question number 14. Highlight some ways through which infectious diseases generally spread in human community. That means you have to write down the mode of transmission of various diseases, how diseases are being transmitted, how diseases are being communicated from infected person to healthy person, and it was for 5 marks. And here it has been written some ways. That means at least you have to write down 5 ways, 5 sentences. So first of all, it is through air, means through contaminated air. The person who are sufferer, the common cold, the flu, the tuberculosis, these are the diseases which are being spread through contaminated air, because the person will sneeze, cough, speak, then along with the droplet that will spread into the vicinity, into the surrounding air. And if the persons are there who are healthy, they are inhaling the same air, that means they will be sufferer. So through contaminated air. First one is through contaminated air. Second one is through contaminated water or contaminated food. The diseases like cholera, the diseases like amoebiasis, they are being transmitted, they are being communicated with the help of water. The water in which there is mixing of fecal matter. Sometimes the sewerage, the drain, they are working as the agent for contamination of the pure water, drinking water, because the pipelines through which the water is being supplied, sometimes there is damage, there is leakage in the pipeline. And what happens when water supply is there, due to pressure water is coming out of the pipeline. But when there is no supply, then what will happen? Through the damaged pipe, the contaminated water of the sewerage will enter into the pipeline, and that will mix up into the drinking water. And if that water is being taken by us, certainly we will be sufferer. So it is the second one, that means through contaminated water. Next one is through sexual contact. If the person suffering from any STDs, that means sexually transmitted diseases, then the person who is healthy, if they will come in contact with the person, the sexually transmitted disease will be transmitted. The diseases like syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, genital herpes, they are termed as STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. Next one is along with the object. That means when the person who is sufferer, if their object, their clothes, their belongings are being used by another person, or even by touching the object like pen, spectacles, keyboard of computer, doorknob, that may lead to the spread of diseases, and that is termed as fomite-borne disease. That means the pathogens are being transmitted through the objects. Through objects, that means vomit-borne disease like diarrhea, cold sore, and recently the pandemic, that is COVID-19, they are being spread through the objects and by vectors, by the organism who are transmitting the positive agent from diseased person to healthy person. The diseases like malaria, kala-azar, dengue, Japanese encephalitis, they all are being transmitted through the vector. So these are the different modes through which the common infectious diseases, common communicable diseases are being transmitted from diseased person to healthy person. So this was all about your questions which has been asked in your test. Now in the next chapter, in the next lecture, I would like to sum up the whole things, the problems raised by you people throughout the chapter, and that will be dealt with you people in a class, and that will be the concluding class for this chapter. That means why do we fall in. So thank you one and all, and see the video, observe the video, and comment upon video how to make it helpful for you people, so that you people can get the things in appropriate manner. Thank you.